Holy shit. Let's talk about what made that so amazing. First off, there's the fact that it kind of sticks in this first-person view that you've been playing the game with the whole time, but it takes away control from you completely. Like, at the start of that was still, you could, like, move around while he was monologuing, but from the moment he says, would you kindly... You don't have any control over your character anymore. You're forced to run, you're forced to sit, and everything else that he tells you to do. And because you have had control of that viewpoint for the whole game, maybe this doesn't carry over as well because you're just watching a video right now, but when you're playing the game, it's very disempowering. And as you kind of beat Ryan to death, you want to stop. He just told you that the only person that you have trusted was just totally fucking lying to you the entire game, and told you the truth. And the truth is actually that you are his son, and you're murdering him. Now, on top of that, the whole game leading up to this point has ultimately been completely linear. Like I said, all of the objectives you've got to accomplish, you're forced to accomplish them before you can move on. So you yourself actually were a slave to the game. You could decide how you wanted to do it. It didn't feel completely linear, but it was, at the end of the day. And so that sort of trick that most games play, where, you know, they have a story that they want to tell, and they're going to find a way to tell it to you no matter what you do, has actually subverted your free will as a player. You can feel that in this scene. On top of that, it uses the fact that a story has to start somewhere as a plot device, which is something that, like, you know, you can do in any medium, but it's always sort of a pretty cool thing to do. The fact that your character did actually have this life that you thought you knew about, but it turns out that was all a lie, and it was just pre-programmed memories. That's pretty cool. Just using the start of the story as its own plot point. Like, you ended up on this plane, you didn't know how you got there, and you didn't really think about it, because that's how stories work. But, at the end of the day, you were put on that plane, the plane was hijacked, it was crashed next to a lighthouse, and probably on your first playthrough of the game, you didn't think anything of any of that. You were just taking it for granted because it was the introduction, and that's sort of where, you know, suspension of disbelief is sort of the strongest. And using that to tell this story and to make this turn effective was excellent. More so than anything else, however, I think that the most artistic thing that Irrational Games did is they made a story that was most effectively told through a video game. A lot of times you get the impression in a game that they wanted to make a game, they had cool gameplay ideas, and they designed a story in order to use them. And that's fine, there's nothing wrong with that, but in this particular instance, this wouldn't be as effective as a movie. This wouldn't be as effective as a book, because there is that level of a feeling of control that you have while you're playing a game. And it takes that away from you in this scene, and that just simply would not be as immense feeling, as hopeless and helpless if you had just been watching a movie. That's why I think Bioshock is one of the great examples of games as an art form. And that's why I want to know what you guys want to see next. What games are awesome? Because this is the best one I can think of. Bioshock, just 100%. Well, it could be a good movie, but it wouldn't be as effective. It uses the medium of video games to tell a story made to be told by the medium of video games. And that's awesome. I love it. I love it. What do you guys want to see next? Awesome. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it.